Good morning, good morning. I know y'all gonna come on here for this. I just want to say that I'm not really a political nerd or a political nerd or even a political necessarily fan like most of the people that's talking about politics right now. It come up in conversation because every 4 years, uh, it comes up in conversation because it's in the media. So it's going to be something that's talked about just based off of that virtue. I don't use the virtue lightly. But yeah, man, I was just thinking, of course, everybody was talking about, abortion last night because it was the vice presidential debate. And there was just one of the questions that was asked to Kamala, who is for certain things. She's for LGBT. She's for pro-choice, and not allowing men to decide for a woman what to do with their body, and in this case, their baby. Um, and but I'm not really, honestly, for specifically either side. Like when I say that, it means my hope is not in politics. It's really not. What the freak? Got an N on me. Yeah, my hope is not in politics. Yeah, we in this world, we're not of it. We have certain civic duties or whatnot. But yeah, my hope isn't in any political candidate. And I just feel, and it's very apparent, and anybody could tell you, that the hope of a lot of Christians is just in politics. Whether that's Trump, which the majority of it is, or whether that's Biden. Our hope is in the wrong place. I just did a response to one of my friends last night because she said God is pro-life and Trump is pro-life. So it's simple. I'm going to vote for Trump. And that's the attitude of a lot of people that call themselves Christian is, you go with the party that aligns with their biblical principles the most. But I don't think that we think about what Jesus stood for when he came here. A lot of times we try to rule, and I made a status on this. You can go and see it and comment if you want. But we try to rule through legislation, and we miss opportunities to actually love. Like, somebody that I follow on Facebook, her name is Bevelyn Beatty, and she's the one that went around painting over the Black Lives Matter murals, and she does a very terrible job. I didn't want to say good, but she does a very terrible job of mixing her faith with her politics, and she's conservative, and the reason why she's painting over the Black Lives Matter signs and everything is because of what they stand for, which, I mean, I'm not here to argue that necessarily, but she puts a lot of Christian in her fight for politics, and she's more political than she is Christian, but yet she says she's a Christian, Jesus matters, all of this other stuff, but she's the atypical American Christian that marries their faith with politics. It's just not right. I keep this simple for you. In my post, I'll reiterate it again. I said that Jesus says for us to love our enemies. Jesus didn't come here trying to rule this world through legislation, although I guess he could. He could have came here in a royal family. God could have dropped him in a royal line. That would have had to take a whole lot of biblical changes because the whole Bible was set up for him to come through the line of Israel. But I'm just saying, Jesus could have came here as first at the conquering king, gonna bow the knee to me, we're gonna rule through legislation. No, God took the role of dying for his enemies, literally loving his enemies, patterning his life after what he wanted to see from his followers. And his followers today in the 21st century are out here trying to rule through politics, and got sinners using politics as a way to gain political support. Trump may very well be a Christian in some small measure, shape, or form. But what's wrong for Trump, Biden, what's wrong for Trump, Biden, anybody that wants to use politics to rule, What's wrong is we missed the whole fact that Jesus said to love your enemies. That, you know, this whole issue of abortion, because this is a hot button topic. This has been a hot button topic for forever. You know, oh, I want to vote for Trump and Pence because they have Christian values and they're pro-life. And we are so gullible when it comes to that. Like, I honestly hope that Trump and Pence lose because we just got our heads so far up their behinds and we think that they're the savior of our Christian liberties, and we forget and totally overshadow Jesus. It's not Jesus plus politics. It will never be. It's not Jesus plus Trump and Biden. It's not Jesus plus your pastor. It's Jesus, period. And we are committing spiritual adultery, especially in today's time with just what we're doing in this political climate. You know, go read Luke 6. And Jesus is talking about loving your enemies and praying for those who despitefully use you. And he says that if you love those who love you, what makes you different from a sinner that loves another sinner? A lot of times what we have is we're loving each other based off of our political preference. Oh, you love Trump, I love Trump too, so, you know, we good friends. Oh, you believe in pro-choice, then we just automatic enemies because you believe in pro-choice and, you know, whatever the case may be. And it's just like, no. Do you realize, Christians, that Jesus Christ ultimately died at the hands of his enemies so that their eyes could be opened to the truth of who he is? We be too focused on winning through politics, and we're losing. We are too focused on winning through politics, and the truth about the matter is that Christians are losing because we got our hope in the wrong place. We just do. So yeah, I titled this video, I hope Trump loses, because honest to God, I just do. I do hope that he loses just so that a whole bunch of people can be pissed off. I hope that especially Christians are pissed off, you know, with Trump losing. I hope that it'll shake things up, because no matter who runs this country, we still got to be Christians at the end of the day. And both of them are crooked. All politicians are crooked if you want to be just 100% honest. And I don't understand how we can bypass a sinful man because he says a few Christian things. But you know what? We've made centuries and centuries of doing the same thing in church. So I don't know why I expect it any different for us to believe any different. Somebody can come out and say they're Christian, and we are so gullible to believe it and to excuse certain things and to not hold people accountable because of who they say they are, whether you're a leader in the church or whatever the case may be. We be giving people passes based off of what they say and not really checking them because we don't think that we can. That shows a lack of a proper relationship with God. You have a low relationship with God, a low esteem for God, and because you do, you're afraid of a man. My Bible tells me, don't be afraid of man that can kill my body, but be afraid of him that can destroy my soul after this life. We be tripping, man. We be really tripping. Not holding people accountable to what's right because essentially we are afraid to die, or we are respect of persons or whatever. But this is the season for the Johns to rise up that aren't afraid of speaking truth at the expense of possibly getting their head cut off. Literally. Like, because there's going to come a time very soon to where you're going to have to pay for what you believe. And I just pray that y'all can stand the test of standing for what you believe in, because a lot of Christians, y'all not willing to die. And it's very apparent that y'all not willing to die because y'all are fighting tooth and nail to get somebody in the office that's going to protect Christian liberties that we don't need him to protect. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. We're not going to stop the tribulation. Y'all not talking about stopping the rapture because that's going to happen apparently. So it's just like, why are we trying to stop what's inevitable? Yeah, we got to do our due diligence, but we should be more focused on loving our enemies at the expense of our very lives so that they can actually come to know the truth than going out here and standing in front of abortion offices and really looking stupid. Like, focus on something else, man. Focus on something else. We gotta change our method, man. Stop trying to rule through politics. It's making us look like fools, just to be honest. We look foolish, patterning and partnering our Christianity with vile men on either side. At the end of the day, you got to choose somebody, and you got to choose according to your civil liberties or whatever the case may be. And that's that. But at the same time, man, like, stop putting your spiritual eggs in a bag that's got holes in it. We got to stop doing that. Like, our hope shouldn't be in politics. Our hope shouldn't be in Trump or Pence or what they say. It shouldn't be in Biden. It's definitely not in Biden. He's a Catholic. And I don't have nothing against Catholics as a person, but as far as doctrinally, I know God has people of every fold. There's people in every fold of every sector of a belief or seeking God that are actually seeking God, and God will get the glory in those people's lives. So I have nothing else against necessarily Catholic, but I do have a problem with, obviously Catholics believe something different. I don't believe in praying to Mary. She was a vessel, mother of God. No, she was a vessel, a Jewish vessel that God chose to use to fulfill prophecy, as well as Joseph's line. So, I don't want to get into all of that, but the fact that, you're a practicing Catholic or whatever, and you're going to be the second practicing Catholic, that doesn't really even matter to me. I'm not even Catholic. I believe in God. I believe in the truth. And the truth about the matter is that the Catholic Church is just a portrayer of a lot of gross things done against the body of Christ anyways. So that's a whole different story for a whole different life. So I'm not putting my faith in the Catholicism or even the Christianity of any single leader. My hope is in God. My hope is in the man Jesus Christ, the actual man that came here, where it became flesh, died and rose again. That's what my hope is in. We so focus on politics that we can't even focus on actually being the people that God made us to be. And if we were focused as Christians on being the people that God made us to be, then this world would be different. Trump isn't going to save America. Trump is never going to make America great. And neither is Biden. You know what's going to make America great? The people. The people are going to make America great in a real sense. People like you and me. The church is going to make America great. Trump is incapable of making America great. And so is Biden. And so is any person that's not connected and one with Jesus Christ. Period. One way that we make humanity great, this world great, period, is through Jesus Christ. We got to recognize our power as believers and stop prostituting ourselves to politics.